Good morning. It is, Thursday, February 6th. I'm Gene, and you're hanging with Uncle. So, I hope everybody's doing well. Today, I want to talk about protesting. Is it an effective strategy? Depends on what it is you're protesting for, who or what you're protesting against. And we need some wake up before we do that. So the first important thing about protesting is, what are you protesting for? What is your method of protesting? Is it a financial boycott? We're not going to get gas on this day to show the oil companies we don't like their price gouging. Or I'm going to protest fast food because it's not healthy and it's making Americans fat. Whatever the case is, what are you protesting? Who are you protesting against? And what is your method? So let's look at a couple throughout history and determine if they worked or not, okay? Let's talk about the Cherokee Indian resistance to forced location in 1838. What happened? They were protesting being relocated. They were on their land. And long story short, a lot of them were killed and were forced to move anyway, and which is why today it's still called the Trail of Tears. So very unsuccessful. Could there have been a different method? I wasn't alive in 1838. I don't know. Didn't know the landscape. It's hard to tell, but we do know it was wrong. We do know they had a right to protest. It was valid. Again, it was theft of land by the entitled people, the white people that came over here and thought, this is my land, I want it, regardless of the fact that there were already indigenous people on the land. That's what happened. So that was an unsuccessful protest against the government of the United States. So let's do another example of a protest against government, and that was Gandhi's march in 1930. Okay. The objective there was to gain independence from British colonization. Again, the Brits went to India. Hey, we like this. This is our land. Same white privilege mentality. So how did they do this? To avoid paying the British tax on salt, he decided to get his own salt. He walked 240 miles over the course of 24 days with a lot of followers behind him. He was jailed. The protest drew national attention. Was the protest a success? Eventually. Not immediately. It took 2 decades after that march for India to gain its independence from Great Britain. So, just another example of a protest, the result, and how long it took for justice to show itself. Okay, the White Rose Resistance of 1942 to 1943. What is that? It was to undermine the Nazi rule of Germany. Their method of protest was distributing leaflets that philosophically challenged the idea of the Nazis. Because remember, what Hitler did was gained absolute control over the media. Back then it was radio. There was not TV. So he gained control of all the media, put out his propaganda, and since that's the only thing that people had to listen to, they had nothing to combat it or contrast it with. What was the result of this, of fighting Hitler? The 6 main members of this group were arrested and beheaded. So, was that a success? No. Again, you're fighting a fascist government, just like we have here in the United States. It was fascist under the Trail of Tears because of what they did. All right, let's talk about another one. Everybody knows this one. The Montgomery boycott, the bus boycott, right? To lessen racial segregation and inequality for black people in the South. And what was their method of protest? They refused to ride the bus. Okay. The result, that the courts ruled segregation was illegal when it comes to public transportation. The Supreme Court upheld that rule, and yes, they were successful. Now, that's an example of how monetary protesting is effective, because when people lose money, that's the most important thing. So, okay, you can ride the bus because we're losing money by you not riding the bus. All right, and again, it takes strong will and determination from all involved. If one person wanes and loses faith, then everything has the ability to crumble. Now, there's lots of other examples of protests, and they're in the description link below. But I bring this up because now there's all these people that want to protest against Cadet Bone Spurs. And we had the ability to do that in November, and the morons either stayed home or voted for the hate that's coming down the pipe at us right now. So I think in this regard, and this is just my impression, would love your thoughts in the comment section. Protesting against this guy only fuels his ego. The more you protest, the more he loves it, because it's just the kind of dickhead that he is. He's just a narcissist asshole, and that's what makes his day. Because when you protest against him, oh, I have power because they're protesting against what I want to do, and since I have the power, so you see, that's how he thinks. That's how a narcissist thinks. Anyway, again, that's all I have for today on protesting. But on a side note, I've heard comments about the show. Gene, you're all over the place. You need to focus on one niche. That's why you don't have a lot of subscribers. Well, my niche is really education, knowledge, critical thinking. So if those are important to you, then please keep watching to the show. Subscribe and encourage other people to subscribe, because how we think and how we process information and knowledge, that's where true power comes from. And that's how we're going to get through these next 4 years. So be kind to one another. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. And we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. Take care.